In a modest hotel room in England, a young teen connects an Amazon Fire TV stick to the TV set. Armed solely with this simple gadget, his smartphone, and the room's television, he's on the verge of cracking into one of the planet's most guarded video game developers. It's September 2022. Mere hours later, 90 clips from the eagerly awaited Grand Theft Auto 6 start circulating across the web. Fans and industry pros reel in shock. Who managed to penetrate Rockstar Games and spill previews of their upcoming mega hit? The truth proves even wilder. The perpetrator's merely 17, part of a hacking outfit known as Lapsus, executing the breach from a cheap lodging while free on bail. Yet how could a bail-bound youth outwit massive corporations using just a streaming dongle? And to what lengths might he push before authorities closed in? Our tale kicks off not amid executive suites, but in a teen's room in Oxford, England. Arian Kurtaj is a reserved, gadget-fixated boy devoting endless time to mastering tech. At 16, he links up with an internet circle of fellow codebreakers. This informal alliance dubs itself Lapsus, with no plans to remain obscure. They aim at the grandest prizes available, driven not by causes or beliefs, but by glory, cash, and as a teammate once described, the sheer lulz. Lapsus first draws attention in 2021 through stunts like defacing sites. Beneath it all, the Oxford youth rapidly hones his expertise. Even his dad calls him exceptionally sharp with machines. In virtual spaces, Arian adopts various pseudonyms, starting with _0_, and eventually masquerading as a fake IT specialist called Lily. His talent for social manipulation, duping folks into surrendering logins, paired with remarkable nerve, elevates him to a key role in Lapsus. Come early 2022, this squad of online mischief makers is set to burst onto the global stage, and they intend a spectacular debut. Their initial major incursion won't merely grab attention, it'll reveal the web's inherent vulnerabilities. February 2022 sees Lapsus hit its premier heavyweight. NVIDIA, the powerhouse Fortune 500 firm, famed for its GPUs. Arian and his team boast of burrowing into NVIDIA's systems and swiping a massive haul, up to 1 terabyte, of information. Next follows a wild stipulation. Unless NVIDIA lifts specific restrictions on its gear and releases its closed-source tech, essentially handing over their guarded formulas, Lapsus vows to unleash it all. This odd decree feels more like a jest than a standard shakedown. NVIDIA stands firm, prompting the intruders to follow through. By early March, access keys for more than 71,000 NVIDIA staff hit the open net, while private blueprints and documents pop up everywhere. A tech giant bows to a kid tinkering from home. Buoyed by victory, Lapsus ramps up the audacity. The crew blitzes a series of prominent marks in quick order. They crack Samsung's defenses, nabbing vital code and draining intel from game giants such as Ubisoft. Then, in March 2022, they target a colossal player, Microsoft. On Lapsus's Telegram feed, a jaw-dropping image emerges, displaying Microsoft's private Azure DevOps setup and suggesting entry to code vaults for Bing, Windows, and beyond. Microsoft's tech team hustles to respond, but the damage is sealed. The following day, Lapsus drops a 37-gigabyte trove of Microsoft's code, encompassing roughly 90% of Bing's engine. The impossible unfolds. A ragtag teen group is airing the crown jewels of a valley behemoth. Lapsus presses on. In Britain, they worm into telecom leader BT and its EE arm. Abruptly, thousands of EE users get eerie SMS alerts seeking a $4 million payout for Lapsus. This gutsy shakedown underscores their relentless chase for spotlight and gains. Soon, their reckless cyber rampage dominates global news. The uproar escalates so intensely that it mobilizes cops across borders. From FBI agents to London's digital crime squad, probes intensify to hunt these brash phantoms. Meanwhile, as Aryan revels incognito, he remains unaware. Traces have already led straight to his door, and collapse looms near. By spring 2022, the global pursuit of Lapsus bears fruit. On March 24, 2022, London officers swoop in, nabbing 7 individuals aged 16 to 21 suspected in the Lapsus ring. Aryan Kurtaj, the Oxford teen behind the white moniker, is among them. His cover shattered mere days prior, thanks to enemy hackers outing his details online. The prodigy who'd shamed billion-dollar empires now stands exposed and detained. For a brief instant, it appears the chaotic wave of cyber intrusions has come to an end. Considering Aryan Kurtaj's youth and his neurodivergent status, the judge opts for an unconventional ruling. Following a short stint in holding, he's granted bail with severe restrictions. No internet access and no ownership of electronic gadgets whatsoever. To shield him from risks, officials house him in a basic travelodge in Bicester, a straightforward spot where surveillance is straightforward due to his high-profile reveal turning him into a possible mark. His computer gear gets seized. The signal couldn't be plainer. The prodigious teen coder must remain disconnected. In the meantime, corporations globally exhale in gratitude, assuming the capture of this youth has sealed the vulnerabilities at last. Aryan keeps a low profile for some time. Several months slip by without incident. Maybe Lapsus has called it quits. Yet within the confines of that economical lodging, the 17-year-old starts feeling cooped up. Cut off from his digital allies, his brain still buzzes with the excitement of breaching systems. This tale ought to wrap up right there, yet it presses on. Aryan Kurtaj is on the verge of shattering his release terms in a dazzling manner. Sans any PC and with cops keeping tabs, he's mysteriously gearing up for yet another assault. The intriguing puzzle? How does one infiltrate global networks minus a machine? Fast forward to September 2022. Inside that Travelodge suite, Aryan has devised a clever workaround for his online prohibition. He's acquired a modest Amazon Fire TV stick, a compact tool designed for video playback, and connected it to the room's screen. Paired with a fresh phone, it forms a rudimentary setup that evaded the authorities' notice. In the wee hours, the screen's azure light dances across the surfaces as the young man stealthily logs back on. He leverages the stick to tap into remote servers and utilities offering him an unseen entry to the web. The lodging-based intruder is back in operation. Come September 15th, Uber staff spot a notification in their Slack feed and dismiss it as a prank. It's no such thing. The note declares, "I announce I am a hacker, and Uber has suffered a data breach." Pandemonium breaks out at the ride-sharing behemoth. Aryan, using a fresh pseudonym, has seized control of Uber's back-end operations. The method? Classic social engineering. Posing as an IT helper, he reached out to a contractor and tricked them into sharing login details. From there, he burrowed into the firm's infrastructure. He's now sifting through files, even slapping a crude, swear-filled image on a company intranet to flaunt his entry. He enumerates pilfered databases and mocks the firm with his dominance. Uber has no choice but to disable apps like Slack and overhaul myriad accounts while rushing to boot out the invader. The perpetrator, on the other hand, crows in internal discussions that he's merely 18. A chilling prospect. A kid essentially ransoming $1 billion empire's secrets for kicks. Uber goes public with the violation and alerts the cops. Cybersecurity pros swiftly peg Lapsus as the culprit, and they're spot on. Aryan's bold flair permeates the incident. Still, he's tuned in from his hidden hotel perch, observing the frenzy he ignited. but Uber served merely as practice, since Arian soon aims for a grander, gutsier icon, one destined to etch his notoriety worldwide. Days afterward, the budding cyber whiz targets Rockstar Games, creators of Grand Theft Auto. This marks the pinnacle. On September 18th, amid pre-dawn shadows, Arian slips into Rockstar's private Slack environment via tactics echoing his prior ploy. Once in, he fires off an audacious broadcast to the team. He pens a demand for Rockstar to reach him via Telegram. Warning, quote 3. It's a colossal extortion bid, gripping GTA 6's blueprint in threat. Rockstar's coders watch their deepest dread materialize. Shortly thereafter, a handle called Tuber Hacker surfaces on a bustling Grand Theft Auto discussion board. That's Arian. He unleashes scores of video snippets, close to 60 minutes worth, from the unfinished Grand Theft Auto 6 build. The gaming community explodes immediately. These raw previews, riddled with testing artifacts, validate whispers about the title's features. A Miami-inspired locale, the debut female lead, Intel the studio had locked tight. Skeptics among enthusiasts initially balk. The dump feels surreal, but Rockstar's overseers hurry to dispatch removal orders. The following day, Rockstar verifies a system breach. Rockstar expresses deep dismay over the early exposure of their forthcoming game's secrets across online forums and social platforms. The GTA 6 footage that surfaced leaked rapidly, only to be swiftly removed through copyright enforcement actions. Within the company, initial alarm shifts into a frantic effort to mitigate the fallout. Apart from the 90 video clips that escaped, the perpetrator boasts of acquiring the foundational source code for GTA 5 and GTA 6, essentially the genetic blueprint of these titles. Such a breach could prove devastating. Should that code leak publicly, it might fuel the creation of cheats, exploits, or even allow rivals a glimpse into Rockstar's exclusive engine technology. Reports indicate the firm poured millions into remediation following the incident, with costs hitting a minimum of $5 million and countless hours from developers devoted to auditing protocols and reinforcing protections. And all this stemmed from a scheme masterminded by a teen out on bail. The sheer boldness and scale of the intrusion propel it onto global news feeds. Overnight, the moniker, quote, 4 gains notoriety as players and reporters buzz over the mystery figure responsible. Unbeknownst to Arian, his era of shadowy infamy is drawing to a close. Investigators, piecing together leads from the Uber and Rockstar breaches, are zeroing in on their prime target. Each daring step, every online message and thread contribution has left a digital trail straight back to that accommodation in Oxfordshire. He views himself as invincible. Yet at this very moment, beyond his door, a discreet takedown is set to conclude the boldest digital theft ever in the gaming realm. During a chilly September night, mere days post the GTA 6 reveal, officers silently gather near a room in a Beckester hotel. They burst inside, nabbing Arian Curtage in the act. The Amazon Fire TV stick remains plugged into the television, his illicit activities still displayed on the display. The young intruder who plagued major tech firms faces arrest once more. On this occasion, no quick freedom awaits based on his psychological condition. Arian is later ruled incompetent for a standard court proceeding. By 2023, a panel in London determines he indeed carried out the intrusions, leading a magistrate to mandate his long-term confinement in a locked mental health facility. His partners in the Lapsus Collective also encounter accountability, handed community service mandates, and stern cautions moving forward. The story of the adolescent who unveiled GTA 6 reverberated across the video game sector and cybersecurity circles alike. It spurred officials to caution guardians on the temptations of delving into cyber mischief for thrills or recognition. A 17-year-old armed with a $50 device managed to bypass elite corporate safeguards, yet ultimately his own world unraveled too. This episode serves as a stark cautionary tale. In today's landscape, where a solitary youth from their living quarters can infiltrate corporate giants worth billions, the boundary separating adolescent pranks from grave offenses feels razor thin. For anyone tempted to overstep, the repercussions can echo as profoundly as the offenses. Yet Arian wasn't the sole intruder to humble massive corporations. To discover how a hacker collective met their downfall as the most dreaded in history, click here next.